Hi, everybody. This is Arkady Frekhtman. I'm a New York City personal injury trial attorney. Good morning. And today we have a really interesting topic. We are talking about 5 critical moments that can make or break your car accident case. So if you have a car accident case, whether it's just happened recently, maybe you're in the claim stage and trying to settle and get some money, maybe you're in a lawsuit and you're also trying to settle or prepare the case properly to go to trial. And this can apply to truck accidents, motorcycle accidents, pedestrian knockdowns, of course, a typical car crash where another car hits you in the rear, any type of motor vehicle. What are the 5 critical moments in time? So we have to do a timeline of the entire case from when you get into the crash up until the very end, when you settle the case or when you go to trial and get that jury verdict. And looking at that timeline, when are the 5 critical moments? Well, I think number one and most obvious is at the time of the actual incident. And why is it critical? Because it's very important to make sure that you exchange information. It's critical that you take photos with your cell phone of the other vehicle and their license plate. Make sure you get the proper insurance information. Take a photo of their license plate. And the reason for that is because if they give you like a fake insurance or an expired insurance, or they say, I don't have my insurance documents, having a photo of the license plate will allow your attorney to then research through a company or on their own. In New York, we have the DMV dial-in system, and to find out exactly which insurance company they have, whether it's active, and then you have all the information right there. So that's really critical at the scene. The other critical thing at the scene is just to make sure the police come and make a report, because you don't want it to be like an incident happened. The person says, let's not call the police. Here's $50. They drive away. Then later you try to hire a lawyer. You get hurt. You want to start a case. And guess what? They say, oh, it never happened. You're making this whole thing up, right? So you want to have some kind of documentation, whether it's video, photo, police report. That's always critical. So that's number one. Number two, and number 3 both involve the medical care stage. So the second most critical moment in time for, whether it makes or breaks your case is deciding to start medical care. And I really recommend that if you were in a car crash, if it's a serious crash, if you're having any kind of symptoms, or even if you think, look, I'm okay now, but I may have something, it's a possibility, you want to get checked out. You want to always err on the side of safety. So this critical time is right at the time of the crash, that day, the next day. Go to the hospital, go to urgent care, go to a doctor, get checked out, start your medical care right away. One of the real problems I see is when someone does not start medical care, and then they have symptoms, and then they start later, like 2 months later, 3 months later, and then they say, oh, but it's all because of the crash. But guess what? Now it's hard to prove what's known as causation. You have to prove that the crash is what caused all these injuries. If you didn't get any medical care, and the first time you're going to a doctor is like 4 months later, it's almost half a year later, they're going to say, well, guess what? Who knows what could have happened in those 4 months? You could have fallen in your shower. You could have gotten into a fight. You could have had another car crash, right? We don't know. It's too tenuous. It's too far removed. You don't want to be far removed. You want to have close causation, and in the law, it's known as proximate cause. So you want to, also known as legal cause. So if you want to make a legal cause, you have a legal case, you have to prove legal cause. If you want to prove legal cause, go to the doctor right away. And the second important piece of time, and it also has to do with medical care, is when you go to a doctor and you're treating, you're getting your medical care, whatever it may be. It could be chiropractic, you could be seeing a neurologist, orthopedic, whatever specialty. Usually people go to a physical therapy office and they start there, and they have like different providers there, or they get referred to specialists from the physical therapy office. So the critical time there is when they schedule, and then you're going to have your MRI. And that's really essential, because that's going to tell you what your injury is, right? So many people contact me for consults and they say, how much is my case worth? Well, what's your injury? I have back pain. Okay, so do I, so does everyone else. Well, what's your injury? You have to get specific. What's your medical diagnosis? You have to look at the MRI. It'll say impression, and it'll say, for example, herniated disc with impingement at L5S1. It could even even say specifically, is it like posterior or left side? You know, and sometimes it even tells you the amount, like herniation with like 5 millimeters or whatever it is. You know, you don't need to know that, but at least you have to know, do you have a bulge? Do you have a herniation? And it's so critical to know that, not just to know it like yourself. It's good to know it yourself, of course, but it's really critical at that time to meet with your lawyer. If you have a real trial lawyer and somebody who knows how to build up a case, that's when you want to take that MRI. It's just one piece of paper usually for one body part, like lower back will be one piece of paper. Go to your lawyer, make an appointment, meet with them, because at that point they could discuss, you know, maybe further treatment, maybe getting you to a specialist. If you're having pain, now you've been diagnosed, you know you have this rupture, your disc has exploded, it's leaking out, touching the nerve roots, you have this pain. What do? Well, you go see a specialist. Pain management, you may need an injection, epidural, radio frequency ablation, you may need a percutaneous discectomy. All of these procedures, number one, they increase the value of your case. So now your case isn't worth $5,000 anymore. It could be worth $500,000, right? Because you've had this procedure. But most importantly, it also makes you feel better because your disc has exploded. The liquid inside your disc is leaking. Look, this is what it looks like. Literally, it's leaking, it's bulging. Now it's leaking. It's touching these nerve roots. It's causing you pain. So the striker decompressor goes in and like a straw, it removes, decompresses the disc. So the disc is a perfect circle again without any leaks. So it makes you feel better. So that's a really critical time. And so many people just go and get their MRIs, never call their lawyer. The lawyer never meets with them, never does a phone consult or a Zoom call or anything. And then it just gets left by the wayside. Meanwhile, it could be like $1 million policy. And then the person is done treating. They don't want to do anything else. And they're settling $1 million policies for like 5 or 10,000. And the insurance company's taking back like all their money, the 995,000. And meanwhile, if it was done the right way, it could literally be $1 million case. So you're leaving so much money on the table. So that's the third critical time, is when you get diagnosed, usually through an MRI. And then the fourth critical time that makes or breaks a car accident case is when you choose your lawyer. And I really recommend choosing your lawyer as early as possible. You know, it could be the same time. Like I said, day one, you go to the doctor, right? You get checked out. You go to the urgent care. You know, within a few days after that, hire a lawyer, hire a trial lawyer. Don't go for these billboards. These guys are just advertising, they're marketing people, they're business people. They're trying to make a buck. They're trying to get as many cases as they can and then just settle them, you know? You want to go to a trial lawyer. If you need help, if you're in New York, I could help you, or I could refer you somewhere. If I'm too busy, you know, we try not to take too many cases. If you're in another state, I could help you. That's what I'm doing. Like if you text me 347-566-9595, we jump on a call, we do a consult, we find out about your incident, what happened, your injuries, your date of incident, right? How old you are, whether you have lost wages, how it's affected your life. And then I can find the best lawyer, whether it's Los Angeles, Florida, Kansas, you know, wherever, Alaska. I was helping someone in Hawaii, you know, anywhere. And the way I can do it is I could look in the actual court public filings and see through databases like LexisNexis, Westlaw, and Verdict Search. I could see who's the lawyer in your county that has gotten the highest verdicts, you know, time and time again over the last 10, 20 years, who has gotten the highest verdicts and settlements for your type of case. Let's say a truck accident with a fusion. And I see, hey, this guy's gotten like 10 million, 8 million. Okay, so go to him or her, you know, and I could help you curate that, which you can't really get by looking at these billboards and getting people that just treat you as a number. So that's the fourth most important, choosing a lawyer. Do it as early as possible. Sometimes people come to me and they want to switch lawyers. You know, they already have a case. I try not to do that. I mean, sometimes I try to help them if they really need help, if they're really in a bad spot, but I try not to do that. And it's not good because, you know, someone else has already done it. It's halfway done. And now you're trying to change it and come over to me. You know, sometimes it could work, but the problem with that is it's like, you know, cooking a steak. If you've cooked a steak and it's already well done, you can't really make it medium rare anymore. It's already cooked. And it just gets into a lot of issues. Some states don't allow lawyers really, like if one lawyer works on it, then the new lawyer would almost get no attorney's fee. So there's no interest for anyone to get involved. And it's just, it's a big mess. So always best to do it as early as possible. And then the fifth and final, but not necessarily in this order. This is a very critical time. The fifth critical moment in a car accident case is your deposition. When you are scheduled to be deposed. The other side's going to ask you questions like how the accident happened, a little bit about your background, where you work, did you lose time from work, how has this impacted your life, your family, your relationships, the things you love to do, the people you love in your life, how has this impacted your life? So it's critical that your lawyer sits down with you and preps you thoroughly, maybe 3 or 5 times, does Zoom calls, meets in person, goes over lists. I did another video. It's called Super Depositions. You can Google it in YouTube. It's in YouTube. It's like about a 40-minute video where we go over a lot of the common questions and some of the ideas for how to answer them. But nothing can replace actually meeting with your lawyer and having the lawyer actually prepare you and go through like a deep dive, like your biography, your human story, to really tell that and convey that in a powerful way. And if you do it properly, the insurance company sees, wait a minute, this is a real case. This is not something we can get rid of for 5 or 10,000. This is a money case. And then you send them a settlement opportunity letter, and then you tell them, look, pay me 500,000, and if you don't, that's fine. But when I go to court, it'll be 2 million. And you put them in the corner and you flip the script. Instead of them, telling you, hey, you're asking for way too much money, come down, come down. And they drag you down into the dungeon and say, look, now we're ready to pay. Now that you're down at $30,000 demand, I'll make you an offer of 10. That's what they want to do. They want to drag you down because now they know all the other money is safe. If they've dragged you down to demanding 30,000, well, guess what? If it's a $1 million policy, 970 is safe. They're heroes. They're like, oh yeah, we saved you 970. Let them play, with these crumbs, these 30,000 crumbs. Maybe we'll give them 30, maybe we'll give them 27, maybe we'll give them 20. That's what they want. That's their goal. They want to save their money and pay you as little as possible. So what you do is you flip the script. You show them, look, I have a human story. I have a biography. I have medical records. I have experts. I have future medical expenses. I have lost wages. I have it all, baby. And I'm coming. And look, if you don't pay me my number, it's going to be 5 times that. It's going to be 10 times that. And you're like a train, an unstoppable train to justice. But to do that, you have to build it the right way. So make sure you meet with your lawyer at the deposition stage and make sure you go into that deposition confident, calm, collected, and ready for battle, baby. That is critical. So these are the 5 steps. To recap: at the time of the crash, the treatment, both at the time when you start medical care and at the time that you get diagnosed, the MRI, that's the 3rd one. The 4th one is when you choose your lawyer, and the 5th one is your deposition. And of course, there are other critical times, like when you go to trial, you have to be prepared for that. But, these are the 5 that I think are most critical. And the other ones, we could talk about as well. So let us know what you think. We are here for you. Our goal is helping serious injury victims and families. Please like and subscribe to our channel. Let us know what questions you have. Let us know what videos you want to see. And have a great day, everyone. Okay, bye-bye.